Welcome back to What Arty Noobs. This is an Object Treble 7 version 2. It's a Tier 9 Soviet premium heavy tank. It's located on the south spawn of Abbey, and it's under the command of Photobomber. And we've got two replays featuring his gaming. Game on. Well, this tank came out rather late. It was a kind of reward for completing various modes in the game. I would say actually it's now in the bond shop, so you can actually get it whenever you want it. It's basically an upgrade or redesign of the T10 series of tanks. Starting with a 122mm gun, which is capable of doing 440 alpha, penetrating 258mm with standard AP. You can see there, but with the premium, it's actually capable of, well, penetrating a lot more. I can't see the value there, but it's anyway, it's there. Okay, standard reload time on this gun is 13.33 seconds, and Photobomber's got it down to 11.23. Now, it is quite a tough tank because it's basically a cast hull with a very streamlined turret. Makes it fairly difficult to do damage to the thing if you can stay hull down. It's only got 6 degrees of gun depression, but it's got a very tough body. And yes, there is an enemy IS-3 too, and he takes a round in the tracks. He was nicely angled, so obviously just didn't take any major damage. There's a couple of enemy tanks there now. No, took another round in the tracks. It doesn't have a very high top speed, only 40 kilometers an hour, 15 in reverse, and the reload is kind of long, but it does have a very nice alpha. Okay, well, the enemy Arty is making himself known, so we might have to move away from this position. Oh, we did take one there because we were a little careless. Trying to see exactly where the shell went. Can't see the spot. One of the benefits of having this vehicle is that you get a built-in repair kit, which means that it's no expense to keep plugging away with the large repair. And that also helps in playing the game, because of course you're more than likely going to take multiple bits of damage or multiple modules in this game. Okay, side scraping IS-3 takes a round in the front, and that's a nice high roll for 487. Oh, he managed to squeeze one in with the second shot for 401. Not so good. And we're not doing so well to our right at the moment, because in the second channel the enemy is pushing. And we bounced that one. It does have rather a long aim time, this tank, and fairly low DPM, and side scraping can be a bit of a problem with it, because of course that turret. Okay, can he get one in? Yes, he does. Cheats. Nice, and another high roll. Whilst we're in this position, the Arty can't really do much to us, so that's a benefit. And the enemy is having difficulty now on the other side, because that Wizzy 114 was actually joined by an E50 to help him. Photobomber's creatively using this rock, because as he pushes forward, he's in cover, but he pulls back and he's out. Oh, and that was nice. Takes out the IS-3 too. He's using the premium rounds, you notice, quite a lot. It's going to be expensive at the end of the game. I think now they should push, actually, because it doesn't look like that 53 TP has got much in the way of support. I think now's the time to go. Yep. Oh, he's thinking about it and then changed his mind. The 53 TP hit us in the tracks again, but potentially that's given us a steel wall. If we went, the T29 will follow us up because, of course, whoop, and we're still bouncing. We're top tier in this game, but T29 is bottom tier, and we've got another pen. Only 422 this time, low roll. There's nothing holding back our guys on the other channel. And we're 4 tanks up on the enemy, so I think they're on the run. So now would be the time to push. I think he's just waiting until that 53 TP gets fully engaged in somebody else, and that's the situation. He's now getting a request for fire for the Wizzy 114 on the other channel. So we're going to push up. We came back to us. Oh, but that's a kill shot. Yeah, we did take one round, 371, but we got the kill shot on him, so that's another one. 2 kills now, and we can push up on the enemy cap area. Now he's elected to go to this channel. I guess he wants to be able to shoot from the height. There's a Progetto 46 just around the corner. So he's going to have to go round, otherwise that Super Hellcat's going to have difficulty trying to push forward. And another Progetto 46 on our team is making a dash to the cap area, and he's likely to take damage. In fact, he is taking damage now. So this wasn't a particularly good position to be in because, of course, we can't get at that enemy Progetto. We need to go down the slide quickly, down the cliff. Our friend in that Progetto took bigger damage. We did get 1 hit on the Comet though, that's good. And that's the 371, but it's a low roll. The Wizzy 114 had it right. You needed to go down the slope and quick, and the game is over. Just like that. Well, that was a kind of average game for Photobomber in the Object Treble 7 version 2. He got a second-class tanker out of that one, as well as a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, a shell-proof for blocking more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, a fire-proof effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, and he got a steel wall out of that game as well for blocking the most damage in the game, at least 11 hits, and over 1,000 HP, and of course he was alive at the end of the game. His win rate, 4,659, which is Super Unicum standard, but it wasn't really a game to write home about, other than the fact, of course, he did get the highest damage, but didn't get 20% of the enemy hit pool, so he didn't get the high caliber. 3,439 hit points was the amount of damage he managed to get. The Leopard Prototype A on the enemy team managed 3,275, and the third highest damage was the Wizzy 114, who got 2,896. When it came to kills, it was the Progetto 46 on our team did the best with 3 kills. So did the AMX AC 48. 2 kills went to Photobomber, the Wizzy 114, and the GW Panther on his team. Only 1 tank on the enemy team managed to get more than 1 kill, and that was the AMX 1357. And in fact, only 5 players on the enemy team actually managed to get a kill in the entire game anyway. When it came to base XP, he's a little further down the table in 5th place, because the high scorer was the GW Panther, tier 7. He was hitting a lot of the enemy, got 1,125 base experience points. So Prof Cox was doing very, very nicely indeed. 999 went to the Progetto 46, 980 went to the Wizzy 114, and we can see that Photobomber came just underneath the E50, who got 862. He also picked up a Confederate, and Photobomber got 860 out of that one. He fired 14 rounds, got 11 direct hits on the enemy, 8 penetrations, damage of 3,439 hit points, of which 477 were at more than 300 meters. He received 13 hits from the enemy, only 3 of those penetrated. Most of those actually hit the tracks, but he did get 1 through the roof, 1 through the body of the tank, and 10 non-penetrations in the game as well. 2,430 hit points of damage blocked by armor, 2 enemy vehicles spotted, 4 enemy vehicles damaged, 2 killed, and he earned 54,117 credits on a premium count, but he did fire a lot of premium ammo in that game, and as a consequence, he made a loss for the game of 50,903 credits. 1,290 XP, 2,580 for mission completion, 65 for this being a premium vehicle, 3,935 experience points altogether. So reasonably good, but remember that Photobomber is normally an Arty player. That's so, it's an average game for a tank player, this one, and it shows that he has skills in other vehicles. Let's have a look at his the Arty vehicle, Arty game that he sent in. The second replay is in the Object 261, and we're on the west spawn of Sand River. Usual traffic jam at the start of a game. Can be really difficult for Arty sometimes to move out, and mainly because enemy tanks won't, or enemy tanks, your own team's tanks don't consider Arty all that important, but it is important that we get to a firing position quickly, because there's a possibility that we might be able to get a shot on the enemy when they're still unspotted. As you can see, Photobomber is already pre-aiming at certain points, but the first enemy to be spotted was actually over on the south edge of the map. And now he's dialing in on that CS63. Rounds out. Direct hit! Right on the money, that one. Now, it's an 18 centimeter howitzer. It's capable of doing 800 alpha, and as you can see here, it will penetrate 45 millimeters of armor. Okay, he's almost loaded. Going for a Death Star. Rounds out. Looks good. It is good. 299. 3 enemy tanks coming in together now. That's going to make life a little difficult, because we've already got the CS63 troubling our guys, and now they've got other heavy tanks following up. It's a tier 10 game with only tier 10 tanks. He got a bit of a rescue flicker there, but he did splash the AMX M454. Normally, when you get that, when you're adjusting the vehicle, you're right at the edge of your field of fire, and just as you're adjusting, you suddenly get a bit of reticule wobble, you might say, described as reticule wobble. But when that happens, it actually throws you out just for a second, and if you do fire, there's a chance you might not be as accurate as you would hope. Now, his teammate in the other Arty just fired there, but he's going to go for the CS63, because that guy's virtually stationary. Unfortunately, the shell landed behind him. Now, the arc of the Object 261 is only 10 degrees, 5 degrees either side of the center line. Now, that means that it's very likely that you will get a lot of reticule bloom, or, expansion, just as you're about to aim on a target. And so he's trying to hold it dialed in. Rounds out on that. Oh, he hit the Death Star. Well, he splashed near it. 315 from that shot. Got 2 enemy vehicles together. Death Star just died, so he's trying to get a solution there on the T110E3, but he can't, because unfortunately there is a rock that's actually blocking the shot. So he's decided he needs to change positioning quick. Now, our fellow Arty player is also using a bush for cover. That can be dangerous, because of course then it makes it fairly obvious to the enemy Arty you're actually sitting behind a bush, and they'll aim for the bush and they'll probably get you. Okay, EBR 105 stationary, but he's sitting behind a rock, which makes it very difficult. The Object 261 has a very low arc compared to other Artys. I mean, the Conqueror gun carriage, which is the tier 10 British SPG, has a very high arc, which means the shell can actually go over the top of obstacles and hit targets that are hiding behind them. But the 261 is not so easy to play with that way. It does have gun depression. It's only 3 degrees, but it's very narrow arc. Makes it difficult, and he gets a lovely direct hit there. 284, low roll. Must have hit the tracks. Even if an HE shell hits the tracks, it's going to do a fair bit of damage. Obviously nowhere near the 800 because it's not going to penetrate through the road wheels, but it's still valuable. Okay, M454 lines up, rounds out, looks good. Landed right next door to him for 310, and you got stun assist immediately afterwards as well. Standard reload for this Arty is 30.68 seconds. And Photobomber's got a reload time of just 25.89, so he saved himself 5 seconds. The Super Conqueror in the background we can see there. Okay, CS63. Right down the other end of the dunes. Fires blind, looks good. Oh, RNG said no and put the shell over the top of the reticule. Still within the reticule area, but over the top of the enemy tank and into the sand. We're only one tank up on the enemy at the moment, so it's still anyone's game. And our guys are pulling back, and that's going to make life difficult. Also, the enemy seems to have conquered our guys over in the northeast corner of the map, and that means they could be headed towards our cap area soon. Okay, so we're going to go for this Death Star. Direct hit, 308. Good strike, but it's on the hard armor at the front of the vehicle. Okay, we can put a shell into this Super Conqueror. Stay stationary to shoot. Rounds out. And he takes a hit for it. 278. And looks like the other RT hit him as well. Now, with the changes they're thinking of bringing in, they're going to try and stop the stun from accumulating on enemy tanks. He did use his first aid kit to get rid of the stun immediately anyway. But with the stun, the first tank that hits the tank will actually cause any stun. And that means that any subsequent hit will be wasted in terms of stun. That might encourage a lot of Arty players to simply use the additional HE, which of course would do more damage. But of course you'd miss out on the stun assist if that was the case. What may happen in return is that Arty players with stun in their shells may choose to hit a different target rather than stun the same tank twice and lose any stun assist advantage. So if you've got a situation like this where there's an AMX M454 and a Super Conqueror attacking at the same time, you might go for the tank that's not been stunned. And there's a rumble from Arty. So it means that Arty is firing in generally our direction. In fact, actually, he narrowly missed hitting our Heshbon. We're now going for the Death Star. Rounds out. Direct hit. 342. Yes, we need to be careful because that shot that was fired at the Heshbon was fairly close to both of our Arty. And if the enemy Arty saw what the tracer coming out from that bush, they probably realized that yes, they need to realign their shots and take out counter battery. T110E4 rounds out, direct hit. We may have to move shortly because they are getting very close. That CS63 was only a short distance away. We do have a Death Star guarding the link between our area and the north edge, but if they get that close, they should be able to spot the Arty. But there's nowhere for us to run to really at the moment. CS63 getting close, quick switch. We heard the rumble. And well, that CS63's been decapitated. His turret appears to be, yes, it's lying on the ground a short distance away. Oh, and that Arty round was just aimed at our Death Star. And he's fairly low on hit points now as well. Okay, T-124 lines up. Rounds out, looks good. It is 347. And I heard another rumble, and it looks like that both those shells were aimed at the Death Star on our team. And he just took some more damage. You only get a limited number of shells in the Object 261. It's only 20. And we're now down to 4 shells left in this game, and they're all extra XHE, no stun. You can see how quickly the RT dials in on target. That's one of the compensations for having such a narrow arc of fire. And that Death Star there is being very careful to stay behind those rocks to avoid being hit by Arty. He knows full well if he comes out from behind them, he's likely to take a round. It may be strange to say, but I think actually, you know, it might be a good idea for Photobomber to go down into the riverbed. If he heads towards our Death Star, who's guarding the bridge, and then turns right and goes down the riverbed, he can actually find a much better position where he might not just be able to hit this guy here, but also... Oh! Well, he's gone. The other 261 got him. But no, it wouldn't just allow him to stay within the riverbed, but it might allow him to get out of this area if the enemy tries to get too close. Okay, E4. Can't hit him. He's in the... just behind the dune ridge line. But we might be able to get a shot. Oh, he did! He got a direct hit, but he's only got 2 rounds left now. And there's the other enemy Death Star. It's coming on rapidly and we're not loaded yet. He's much healthier than our guy. Well, he managed to get a hesh round into him. Both fired. Oh, and that was a direct hit as well for 324. And Photobomber's doing rather well because he's got 3,638 hit points of damage. And that's just from the shots that we know about. Remember, there are some hits that he made where he didn't get any value. Only 1 round left. There's still 2 minutes 20 seconds or 2 minutes 15 seconds left on the game. He's decided he's going to go after the AMX M454. He might change his mind though. Okay, this guy... rounds out. Direct hit, 156. Now he's out of ammo. And normally what you do under these circumstances is either press the F8 button, or if you've got Anslane's mod, C button, and that would then tell everyone you've got no ammo left. In fact, somebody in the Object 268 version 4 said, yes, I think he's a bit concerned. They're all out of ammo, or running out of ammo now. We lost our Object 261 to the Super Conqueror on the enemy team, and now we're running out of teammates. Yeah, unfortunately. And so much for my idea of actually going down into the riverbed. That's where the Leopard 1 has gone. And now the only possibility is for Photobomber to try and escape and head south to get away from these guys. He's got no ammo, he can't help his team. Unfortunately, that Leopard's going to see him the moment he goes up the hill. There's the 1 minute warning and the countdown. If the enemy pushes now, it's probably going to be curtains. Here comes the Super Conch. Oh, if only we had a shell. This is the problem of the 261. You run out of ammo too quickly and too easily, and yet other tier 10 Arty actually do have ammunition. And now it looks like we're all gonna die because there's the enemy Leopard. He's seen us, and we're being shot at by the Super Conk. One more round and we're out the game. And that's the end of our game, which means the last remaining member of our team is a Death Star, and he's just been wiped out by the enemy RT. So that's game over. Well, despite that being a loss, it was the first mark of excellence for Photobomber in his Object 261. He got a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In this one, he managed to get 9. He got a Gauze medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle. And on top of that, he got a Confederate as well, because he hit more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. In fact, he didn't get a single kill in the game, but he did hit a lot of enemy. His win rate was 3,210, which is Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game, I'm afraid. Yep, the Leopard did. He got 6,934 hit points of damage. He picked up a high caliber and a Confederate. And in second place, it was Photobomber with 4,470 hit points of damage, and of course a Gauze medal and Confederate. And in third place, the Death Star on his own team, the FE215B183 with 4,104 hit points. When it came to kills, it was actually the Leopard. Did 4 kills in that game. 3 kills went to the Super Conqueror, 2 kills to the Object 261 and their batch at 155-58. They did have a pair of good Arty players who were laying down fire fairly accurately on some of our defenders, especially the Death Stars, who were doing a good job, but sadly, unfortunately, they were just getting more accurate hits. When it came to base XP, it's the Super Conqueror who managed 1,102. He's in the top spot. The Leopard managed 1,075, and the third place was the CS63 with 834. And Photobomber managed 385, but he didn't get any kills, of course, in that one. 20 shots fired, that's the full magazine. 12 direct hits on the enemy, no penetrations at all, but 18 splash. Damage of 4,470, all of it at more than 300 meters. He received 2 hits from the enemy, both were penetrations and both finished him off. 9 enemy vehicles were damaged, none were killed, but he did get 572 hit points of stun assist off 14 stuns. On a premium count, he earned 50,766 credits for the battle, 6,840 for courageous resistance, that's for getting a medal in a losing or drawn game, 57,606 credits altogether, and after repair, ammunition, resupply, and consumables, he actually made a loss of 27,871 credits. 577 XP for the battle, 358 for courageous resistance, 936 from personal reserves, 1,872 experience points altogether. So, yes, sad that it ends up being a loss, but he did get a mark, just like we saw in the previous battle with Clicker in his GW Panther. Yes, it sometimes happens that way. You just get a mark, or you actually do clock a huge amount of damage, but the rest of your team just is unable to convert that into a win. So well done by Photobomber. You get a fairly comfortable win in that Object 777 version 2, but I think he could be a little more aggressive in it sometimes. He did get it was a Super Unicum standard, but this one shows that he is basically an Arty major player because he gets great results in Arty, especially when you get a Gauze medal. It proves that you have been pumping out the damage at a massive rate, and nice to see that he's got his first mark of excellence. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.